Welcome back, everybody. Mr. Han Ho from Singapore has written to us asking, how does loudness relate to wattage? Hmm. Very good question. Um, yeah, I have an image here that should actually answer this question very easily. We have an incandescent bulb there, a halogen bulb, a CFL, and LED. I'm sure every one of us already have had experience with all these lights. Um, to on the other side, the x-axis speaks about the brightness of the bulb. The y-axis represents the life of the bulb. We forget the life of the bulb because this is not very important for us now. It's the brightness that we are concerned about. In an incandescent bulb, we, let us say, have a bulb which is rated at 40 watts. We will get 450 lumens brightness. A 100-watt bulb in the incandescent type would produce about 1600 lumens of light. To be able to reach 450 lumens, LED would only consume 9 watts. And to produce 1600 lumens of light in the incandescent division, it needs 100-watt bulb, but LED can cut it just at 20 watts. So what it speaks is about the efficiency. I have another image here. Who doesn't know this? KTM Duke 125. Most of the teens dream of this bike today. And most of the teens used to dream about this bike about 20 years ago. Both of them are 125cc motorcycles. What is it that differs this 125cc motorcycle from this 125cc motorcycle? It's the efficiency. A full tank range is larger in this compared to this, and this has more pollution compared to this. The power extracted per ml of fuel is higher in this compared to this. But don't mistake us, both of them are amazing masterpieces of engineering. We would still love to ride both of them. But given a situation where we are supposed to have our daily driver chosen, we would definitely be choosing this because it translates to long-term savings. So with the least uh, input of fuel, we'll get the most output of work from this machine. Same goes with this speaker as well. If you have a high quality, high sensitive speaker, all you need to do is give it just a few watts, maybe 4 or 5 watts, or even 10 watts, and you would still hear a very good quality sound from them, which is very intelligible, loud enough to be heard and enjoyed. But if you have a low quality product and that has very less engineering that went behind designing of that particular product, even if you supply it 500 watt, it would still sound like a normal speaker. It wouldn't get loud, and you wouldn't be satisfied with the loudness. There wouldn't be a dynamic range in that particular speaker. But as a part of sale gimmick, they would say these two speakers, small speakers, they run at 1000 watts. What's the point of pushing 1000 watt into a small speaker that doesn't sound loud enough? You, I don't see a point in selling a small speaker, a very small speaker, which takes 1000 watts and wastes like 990 watts into heat and only produces sound which is worth 2 watts. You get a good quality speaker um, which has a good response in the frequency and which has a good sensitivity. You just apply hardly 4 to 5 watts into it, you would be more than satisfied to listen to the quality of sound that it produces. That is where the loudness and watts are related. Do not confuse with the loudness and watts. Include another parameter there called sensitivity. How much of wattage when provided is sufficient for this sensitivity to reach this particular loudness. The third variable in the equation is always forgotten and is always hidden by most of the lifestyle manufacturers. If you look at any typical sound bar, it says this sound bar is 800 watt. If you have a 800 watt sound bar, let me tell you, um, these two speakers, which can reach a concert level volume, it hardly needs 40 watts to reach that concert level volume. And if we have another set of speaker behind the screen, and they have ability to reach close to 400 watt per speaker, and there are five of them, which includes two subwoofers, and which would be like 400 into 3, which will be 1200 watts, and 300 into 350 into 2, which would be another 700. Close to 1600 watts of speakers are there. But if I start playing this, the entire locality will shake. People will start accumulating around our building, thinking that we have some kind of concert going on here. So what I'm trying to say is, just because somebody says that soundbar or some multimedia speaker is 10,000 watts, 800 watts, 500 watts, don't just go by what they say. Uh, Wattage is, there are different kinds of wattages as well. We have RMS wattage, we have AES wattage, we have PMPO wattage. You must have seen a small speaker kept in some big box store. It says this is 10,000 watts. 10,000 watts PMPO, peak music power output. What is peak music power output? In the layman's terminology, when we are playing some music, you suddenly hear some, for a fraction of a second, you suddenly hear some explosive sound, and that reaches 10,000 watts. But the rest of the music is hardly at 4 to 5 watts. That is pretty much the PMPO. PMPO rating just says that it can reach that for a fraction of a second. If it sustains for 10,000 watts for even 10 seconds, the speaker will burn and there will be a fire hazard at your home. So don't go by that PMPO wattage. Just look for RMS wattage and the sensitivity. Compare both the RMS wattage, the sensitivity, as well as the loudness that it can reach. A typical soundbar, which is between 800 watt and RMS and 1000 watt RMS, it is almost taking up enough electricity that your AC is taking. I I don't see a value in burning so much of electricity for just a sound bar, which cannot actually give you that kind of satisfactory sound. You're compromising on a lot of things by purchasing a small sound bar. Sound bar is good if you are hard crunched on space and you are living in a small crunched living space where you don't have space to keep anything other than a small sound bar, and your TV doesn't have a good built-in speaker. Nowadays, the TVs have a very good quality speaker just built into them. All you need to do is just add a subwoofer to it. Also, sometimes what's happening is you don't have space to keep a subwoofer. What are you going to do? It's a very good idea. Let's try and build something for people like that. That doesn't break the bank, but it will definitely break their satisfaction level. It will make them feel so much satisfied with their investment. Very good idea. So that is about loudness and wattage. Let us meet once again uh, in the next video. Thank you very much for writing to us.